Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello. How you doing? How you doing? Hey? Good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. hello, 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 hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, good boy, good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very, very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello, 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 hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, good boy, good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. Very, very smooth. Ha! Absolutely. They are drums. They're percussion instruments as well as stringed instruments. They can be used. If you watch the old flamenco guys playing, the old Spanish guys, they're doing all that stuff. They're going tippa-tappa, tippa-tippa-dum, ring, 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 tippa-tappa, tippa-tappa, dum, ding, dong, dang. So it's all good. Right, here we go. There's the back. Bringing it up, that's not too bad. Okay, let's get that sound going so you can hear me. Alrighty, so what do we need to do? We need to grab this body, and we've got that body. We need to get in there and drill those holes. I've got the drill bit too. I've got black hardware. It's got Mr. Glynn's Cruel Mistress vintage telly pickups, brass saddles, bone nut. It's all good. Where the weed at? What's going on? Thank you for the follow. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Who? Okay, so that's that guy there. But that's to show you that copper-looking red cedar when it really gets polished up. It really looks copperish.
Come here, little guy. Come here, my little boy. Hello, 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 hello. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, good boy, good boy.
To go on top. So that's what we did there. That back's going to be sensational. That is so smooth. It never rains, it pours. How are we doing, guys and girls? Welcome to the show. Sorry I'm late. Got to put my apron on. Just as soon as I start streaming, the phones go off. And then I'm going off like a cracker, like a firecracker. Okay, what do we got? How are you doing, guys and girls? What's happening here? We have got Terry in the house. We've got Leslie here. And are they the only two little ferals in here today? They are at the moment. Good. At least you're here. There might be some other people lurking that aren't chatting, but that's okay. How are we doing, guys and girls? Welcome on in. So, where are we up to? We've got a cut. This is the colour on this guy. Okay, it's getting to that colour that we want. Obviously, this is going to come off because we're carving the top, but I'm playing with colours to get getting feedback from the owner. Now, I've got the back done. I've got a belly cut done there over the weekend. You can see it there. And I've got the shoulder crew neck cut as well. So the back is coming along nicely. You can see the lines there. All right. Oh, Willie's here as well. Excellent. Good to see you, Wills. There's the colour of that guy. Now, we've also started sticking in these guys, okay? Mother of pearl runes. The big trident down here. We've got the P letter here and the M letter there, which are not P and M, by the way. This one's covered. You can see the eye. It's got that black. We've made a paste out of sawdust and glue, and that's going to close up the little gaps in between there. And we'll only find out what that looks like once we get this thing radius. This board may not be right. I'm going to see. We've also got a couple of little, we're putting some horizontal steps in there as well. So I'm going to do that first. Get that out of the way, cover that, put that gunk on there, leave it for 24 hours to cure. It's a slow curing glue. I want it to cure and seep in and get into all the gaps. Tomorrow we will glue this on and radius that guy eventually this week. As you can see, that glue, once it sits there, it doesn't want to come off. So I put some glue in there just to test it, and it just basically leaked all the way through to the back of this little piece of wood, and now I cannot separate the two. It's looking good. Look, it's starting to get there. It's starting to get there, Terry. I'm not convinced that it's good yet. Good is such an often a misused word. But let's have a look at this. So there it is up close, right? There's the carve. Remember, this thing's going to lose that thickness, so it's going to get a little bit slimmer through there as we carve that top. The back looks good though. The carve is a nice belly cut. You can see that shape there. And of course, this is looking reasonably good too. A little bit of cleaning up to do around the edges, but we'll do that once we get this guy carved and we do a lot of sand. So that's the colour that we've put on that guy. It's sort of right. We're going to go from, if I hold it left-handed, we're going to go from a green through there. So that's going to be green eventually. And that's going to be like a black ribbon through there. And then the rest is going to be natural. So there's going to be a green vein, a black vein, and a natural shoulder all the way through to the horn. Okay, that's what we're going for. There's the equivalent. It looks a little bit bronzier. I've got a couple of coats of that on there. That fits very, very nice in there like so. So we're off to a good start with all the hardware. We've got to do the routing today on that guy. But first things first, we're going to get back to here. Once I turn this camera around. Let me pull that out without giving you guys too much vertigo. There we go. And we're going to work on getting those inlays sorted out and finished. Okay, so we've got our sawdust. We've got our glue. Terry, I did get glue that I needed. Hello, raid. Who we got raiding? Karen Day. My God, was she cheer? What is she up to? Karen Day, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in. What is going on? You back online, girl. Good to see you. The raid is on fire. It is. It is on fire. What is up with you, girl? We have Viking things. Viking things on fretboards. That's what we are doing. Welcome on in, guys and girls. Good to see you. I'm glad you're streaming again. Who we got? Gatto's here. Thank you very much, Gatto. Thank you, Karen. What are you doing? You wild thing, you. Anyway, welcome on in. Good to see you back online. And there it goes. The follow. Thank you very much. can't even see that. Excuse me, I need to put my old man eyes on. Cornhorn R9, thank you for the follow. So we're putting some mother of pearl in there, and we are covering it with sawdust and glue and getting those gaps all closed off. I've got 2 more letters to cut out today, a couple of little markings down there. Let's get started right now. Okay, good. So we've got our little glue bed, we've got our dust, we need to put the nick away. And what I need to do now is I need to get some bone, or some, not bone, but, oh, that's moved, that's no good. I have to remove that. Bugger! I need to take that one out. It's slipped and it's sticking up, so I need to get that one still. This one's all right. I need to get an M cut in there, an F cut in there, and I need two more of these little bars here, and that's what we're going to do first. Start with the easy ones first. Use the little offcuts that I've got here. Earth cuts, earth cuts. Bone, 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 bone. And what else have I got? Shell, shell, shell. This little offcut here will fit in there like that. It's a little bit short, so I need to find ones that are the right length. I will have to cut them to length myself. I'm going to measure this guy out. In actual fact, I don't need to measure anything out. What I need to do is that's the right size there. Yep. I need to cut that guy. Okay, I'm going to use my little jeweler's saw. I'm going to cut through that guy. And then we're cooking with microwaves, as they say. We are working on a custom name plaque with a Celtic, whatever you want to say, design. Good. Excellent stuff. Van Whalen, he's awake and he is alive. Good to see you, Van Whalen. What is going on? Van Whalen, you have to be careful. Your missus and her friends are raiding your purse strings. They're finding all your loose change in the lounge and they're donating it. They're donating it to the stream. Those girls are out of control. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? Out of control, I tell you. Out of control, I tell you. Terry, do I need a clamp? This is my little bone cutting, shell cutting device, where I can just sit these guys here and just saw my way through them. But let's get down to business. I'm just going to cut that about 1/8 of an inch and slot it, and then I'm going to file the rest away. I need 2 pieces. There's one. Dropped it. There it is. I found it. Let's cut the other piece. And then I'll be able to streamline those and fit them into those slots. Goodness gracious me! Come on. Ooh, that's fine. It's really fine. There's the other one. Okay. fit these guys. They are centered. There's the other one. A little bit of a bump there I need to get rid of. Let's use a file. Get over there. This camera keeps moving on its own, I tell you. It's haunted, this place. That pushed in there, like so. Make sure it's lined up. It's not lined up. I'm not happy about that. Push that across. There. Now it's lined up. Grab some glue, a couple of drops. Drop in there, a drop in there. That will cure that guy in place, and then we're going to rub, going to file these flat, and then we're going to put in that sawdust mix to cover any little gaps. We've still got this guy to go right here. Fit that last one in there like that. He's a little bit on the fat side, so I'm going to skinny him down a bit on the sander. Give me a second. And that's a bit better now. There. Like so. It's a bit narrow. Let me widen that a little bit. Grab my little scalpel. Oh, I've broken them. I've broken my scalpel. I need to get another blade. I've got them in the other room. That's okay. I'm just going to use this little scraper. Oops. Doesn't matter about the scratches. We're going to radius this fretboard. I just need to get in there. Clean that out a little bit. Try that again. There we go. It's a lot better. It's lined up nicely. Is it sitting crooked? No, it's fine. Check the alignment. It is aligned beautifully. Okay, that's good. And now we dab a little bit of glue on this guy. Drop it. And that will stick it in place. While we wait that to cure, take a couple of seconds. I've got to remove this guy later. I'm going to cut another one out for this M up here. This mess, this hot mess up here. I need to make some adjustments to this letter. Now remember, the gaps don't matter too much, the little gaps, because what we're going to do is we're going to ensure that we're going to cover them with dust and
glue, and you won't see those gaps much. Once we sand that and radius that guy flat, I'm just getting a shape. See what I need here. These guys are a little bit on the, okay, that's one. We'll do one side there and one side there. I need to sand this guy down. Let me find some other skinny little buggers. Ah, we've got some lettuce here. What do we got here? What's in here? Some pre-cut thing. Oh, hello. Hang on a minute. I may have the letter M already cut out. And I just need to tidy it up. Oh no, they're just bits and pieces. Okay. Just bits and pieces. Scraps that I kept for later. For Ron. Later Ron. That means that somewhere in here I have other articles of lettering. I think this is the one. This may be the one. Get out there without breaking that shell. Because knowing me, I'll break everything. There it is. I've got to straighten that guy out, and here's two big legs that we can straighten out. Okay, let's have a look at what this guy looks like. So I'm just going to check the length first. The length looks about right. It's better to be longer. That's fine. Whew. What does the text say? This is all in Viking runes. So these are old Viking letters. So that little F up there is representing an E, I think. And the M represents, or maybe the M represents an E. Looks like an M to us, but it's something else in the Viking alphabet. And that I represents something else. And that P represents something else. And that is a little trident, horny thing. I think they're two ox horns, and there's like a cauldron that you light a fire, or a what do they call it? A torch. And it's I didn't put any flames up there because it's just too much. But just that shape there is a Celtic representation, a graphical representation of that, what they call a little hand cauldron where they light a fire and it stands. It's like a pedestal, and they light a fire, and it lines the road to where the family is carried down from life right down to their burial. Texas Truth, what is going on, Tommy? He ruined the fingerboard. I did ruin it. It's ruined completely. I'm just doing what the customer wants. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. I need to cut this guy shorter. So I'm going to mark this guy and sand him down. And test fit. Sharp edges flat a little bit. Like so, just give that a test fit. I don't like that edge. Little manipulation. Something some people are better at doing than others. Did I yell that out too loud? Nicely, not much gap there. It's actually quite a tight fit. I mean, it sits loosely, but it's a good fit. It's a snug fit and it's a straight fit. Okay, now we need to tidy up this guy here, which is an absolute schmozzle of a mess. First things first, let's get this guy lined up. I'm going to make this the same width. Let me mark this guy and get the width right. I need a fine pen. take that down. Let's take that down. Just fit that, so that's exactly the same width. Flatten that little edge. Okay, that fits nicely. Need to mark the end of that. The same length as that. Get on up. Okay, let me just cut this guy. It's like a glove. It's sort of like a glove. This one's a little bit wonky. Make a little adjustment, just a little bump in there I've got to clear out. And then it's relatively even. Even Stevens, as they say. Now we've got to get this guy neatened up and get this guy in there. This is going to be a bit howdy-doody, as they say. We've got to get this guy smoothed out. Let me just quickly hit that. Nice sharp V in the bottom there, and we just got to get the edges done now to match. Okay. Get the edges to match. And how are we going to manage that? We need to cut this guy down to size. Okay, I'm going to get this guy tucked down. So, that should line up. See Daisy, I just dropped something, which isn't a good thing to do. This is all. Stuffed that up. I need to cut another piece of this. Okay. All right. We need to make this guy again. Now I have got this guy here. This is going to do the job. Okay, let's straighten this guy out. Bizarre Summer, 1999. Was it a bizarre summer? The Y2K bug. Thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Those guys are good. We just got to get this V right. That's a good fit. Okay. Get the V right. Once the V fits, we can shorten it and trim it. Okay, that's fitting nicely. A little bit fat on that end. I just need to thin that out a little bit. Here. That's a lot better. Uniform. Okay, that fits really well. Okay, we're just going to trim that guy down now, so I need to go get this guy in. That's a pretty good fit, if I do say so myself. Okay, we've got to trim this guy down. About a mil, if not less. Oh yeah, looking good. Looking good. Got to get them straight now. A little bit off the points, okay, so we just got to take those edges off. Edge here. We get a nice seamless fit. Let's try that again, shall we? This is a bit fat too, it's bugging me somewhat. That should do the trick. Indeed, it should do the trick. Okay, that's good. Ooh, almost right, not quite. Just a little bit less off that corner. A little bit off that corner there. So we're talking about 0.5 millimetre out, but you can see a little gap, and I don't want to see any gaps. That's better. That's sorted that out. Now I might have to trim that down a little bit. Yes, I do. Take a little bit of that guy off. And just make sure that's straight. This guy's peeing me off as well. A little bit shorter. There it is. Done. That one's ready to go. So I need to quickly line that up and glue that in. Glue it in, glue it in. A couple of drops, Terry. Be very gentle. Do not bump it. Whatever you do. That's done. That should cure. Hasn't cured. That hasn't even reached the bottom. That's cured. That needs to cure. Let that cure. Okay, that's cured. That's not good at all. Okay, that's better. All right, we're getting there. Oops, I bumped it. Let me try that again. I need to straighten this out. It just wiggles a little bit out of place. I need to make sure it hasn't wiggled out of place. There we go. Let's let that cure. And we have the F up here. F for Fred, F for Freitas. I'm going to do it backwards. It's Aki. It is. Rage, this is the worst part. But it will get there. Once we sand all this down and we fill all these bits in like I filled in that little guy there, we'll be fine. So what I need to do now is cut one more, which is this guy here. I think I may have the pieces for that right here. Let's have a quick look. I hope I do, because if I don't, I'm stuffed. I believe I do. Oh, maybe I have to cut them again. Damn it. Damn it. That one's good to go. Yes, indeed, that one's right. Got to make a couple of smaller pieces. I've got one here that I should be able to fit into there. I'm not happy with that. What I want to do is make it thicker so it matches that letter there. So that's got to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to now, I'm going to grow that little channel there just with the chisel. Scrape out another little tiny piece of that little guy. We're talking about 1 millimetre here, like that. Like that. Dealing very small pieces. Test fit that piece. Okay, still a little bit. Just a little bit more. Clean that edge. I'm trying to get a nice, neat fit. Yeah, that's going to work. That's fine. Just a little noggin in the end there. Better? Okay, let's mark that out. Back to the chopping board. Back to the cutting board. Because I want to save that little piece because it's the right length. That flew somewhere. I need to find that piece. Piece there. We need 2 little pieces in there, and I did lose that little piece. I've got to find it. If I don't find it, it's no big deal. I've got plenty of shell. It'll be here somewhere. God knows where it's gone. Oh, here it is. I found it. Did I find it? No, that's paper. Okay, that's fine. We'll cut another piece. Got a little piece of bone here. That'll be just right, I think. This is the fiddly part. This is the part that Terry hates. Although she probably appreciates this because it's very, very OCD. Terry, do you appreciate this part? Only you could. I can't see how anyone else would like it. It's utter crap if you ask me. Give us some hints on names. What are you talking about? Marky Mark, what's going on? See you, Mr. Van Walen, and good night. Is it 4,000 time for Lisa? 4,000 teal time? What is going on, guys and girls? What is happening? This is really annoying me. A little bit thicker than I want them to be. Or not thick enough, I should say. Just a little on the tight side. There we go. Shaving a little off that just to give it a little bit more room. What's going on with this? Oh yeah, that's in. Had it the wrong way around. That's a better fit. There we go. That's no good. Gotta get another piece. Got to get another piece. I've just broken a piece that I don't like. Let me see, this one here might do the job. Trying to find the right size thickness. These pieces aren't consistent enough and they're giving me the irrits. I have to cut. Let me try this one here. Here we go. I'm just cutting all these. I'm using all this scrap, just trying to find the appropriate piece that might do the job. Thick side, just got to wear that down. Make sure that length's right first. The length's right. Just got to get the angle on this guy cut, so that corner's got to go. Too much angle. This angle. That's better. Trying to get those to fit in now. too short. This is the right length. There we go. Almost there. Just going to get this guy flattened out. Let's glue it in. Let that cure. We'll get a mix going now. We'll get our little glue. I'll grab a bigger piece than that. I need some scrap. What we're going to do is we're going to now use this palette here, and we're going to get this guy covered up so we can close all those gaps. Put all this extra stuff away. We can use that again for other bits and pieces. I don't waste bone and shell that easily. It is very handy for making little bits and pieces. Okay. Worst case scenario is once we radius this board, if it doesn't look right, if it still looks a bit howdy-doody, we're going to start again. But this is all lined up really, really well. I'm looking at that lined up. It's lined up really, really well. There's a lot of extra shell there thickness-wise, so that we've got. It's going to get flattened and radiused right down. It's all centered. Okay, so we've got all the markings on there now, and we need to get these like that guy there. So we're going to mix some stuff, as I call it. Show the body. Okay, the body. Okay, the body is, the back of the body is that's mahogany. I've got the carve through there. I've got the belly cut done now. That's that guy there. You can see the belly cut. See that tummy cut. The front, I'm playing with color. That's the color at the moment. You can see the flame through there. It is a deep sort of mahogany color. This will have a green river through there, black as in a burnt stump, and then obviously going into a big brown section up the top there, and that board along there is going to meld in nicely with it. The neck is a Canadian maple. It's a lighter color. I will be coloring that neck as well. It's got flame on the back. I've just accentuated that flame with a little bit of stain and rubbed it all back. So that's the neck there. It is a left-hander. There's the truss rod channel. There's the truss rod sitting in there. That fretboard's going over the top of that. Okay. And now it's time to mix these things together, dust and glue, and make some stuff happen. So, without further ado, let's get down to the bench. Let's move that out of the way. That's cured now. Yep, that's not moving. This stuff takes a longer time to cure, but it allows us to work with the powder and the dust. A big dollop of this stuff. Ebony dust, rosewood dust, mixed together. It's all fine, but what I need it to do is to be lighter because that fretboard isn't black. Time to do a stretch. Sumo, Rage, you are the sumo king. That's why you watch sumo. I need a swizzle stick. Drop this gel like so. Give it a fair bit. Mix it through. Get the lumpiness going. It's got to be pasty. We've got to put more glue in there. Wet it up a bit more. There we go. It's starting to get muddy now. Bit more mud. There we go. Get that muddiness. It's like coffee grinds, Terry. Terry likes her coffee. Are these like your coffee grinds, Terry? Probably. Grounds, I should say, not grinds. Grounds. Grounds is the correct terminology for coffee, I think. Coffee grounds. Okay, it's like a toothpaste consistency. Nice and stiff, but it's still workable, so we need it to work. And that does sort of flow and settle. You can see it shines a bit. Once it settles and it flows in this, flattens out. We need it to flatten out into all those little scratches and scrapes and gaps where there are tiny gaps where I've chiseled away. This will cover them and hide them quite well. Almost unnoticeable. You can probably see some of the bigger ones, but it's not a big deal. It works pretty well. It's pretty effective. So what I do now is I grab my fretboard and I just hit these guys. Hit them hard. Let's start with these little guys here. Get a dollop of that. Cover that guy right up. Spread that across there into all the corners. All the way around. Cover it right up. It's going to be sanded right off. Okay. We want to get into those gaps and close up those gaps. Fill them in. Backfill. Just like a rotten tooth. Put that spack filler in there. Get it going. Lots of that stuff. Be liberal with it. Do not, stinge on it. Make sure you get a lot of that stuff on there, because we're just going to use a sander and get most of that off. And then once we're flat again, we can radius. These fit quite well, so there's not many big gaps here. I am sort of overdoing it here to show you the concept of how much we need to put on. It looks messy. It is messy, but it will clean up nicely. Don't you worry about that. Just taking off the bulk. Inlay. This is how I do it. Other people use CNC, other people use freehand and take their time and don't rush like I do. I just like winging it. I'm winging it. It's how I roll. Just roll. Speaking of rolling, I'm just rolling some of that excess off there. This guy needs a fair bit. I'm going to go right over the top of that guy. Really get into those gaps. All the way around. Make sure it goes down to the bottom of the carve or of the route. The thing I like about this type of glue, this gel glue, is there's no shrinkage. It's quite good to spread and let it sit, and it'll hold that depth. It won't shrink over time. Sometimes you get a little bit of shrinkage when it cures, and then you have to refill, backfill, that the gap is still evident. This is quite good. It sort of flows pretty well into those crevices and problem areas that you need to fill, to backfill. So I'm just pushing that in. I mean, they're tiny, tiny, tiny gaps. They're not massive, but you can see them. But when I put this in, you won't see them. You might just see the edges a little bit slightly discolored compared to the fretboard, but that's the beauty of it. This is a contrasting fretboard. There's blonde and there's streaks all through this, so it doesn't really matter. As long as you don't see gaps, we want to close them. If it's flush and closed, it's good. Just spreading that right over there, flattening that out as much as I can, letting that sit in there. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. Okay, we've got a fair bit there. I'll have a look at that again once it sits in there and settles. Let's do this letter here. Get that middle section done. Get those edges done. I was going to take this out. I may have to redo this one. We'll see how we go. I don't know. I think we'll be okay. I'm just going to do it and sand it and see how it goes. Make sure we go all the way around the perimeter of this thing. Where there's potentially a gap, we need to fill it. So we go all the way around. Do not worry, do not fret. We have plenty of dust and plenty of glue. We can make more of this crap up if we have to. Don't worry about the shell. Go over the top of it because that's getting sanded off. I need two more, so I'm going to make some more up now. I'm running down. Let's get some more in there. A couple of sprinkles, a couple of pinches of that stuff. A little bit of this gel glue. Get it nice and wet. Get that muddied up. Up a bit, just like mixing cement and, you know, concrete. You've got to get it right, the mix. Just enough water, just enough sand, just enough cement to get the right mix for the application. Here we go. Now we're talking. Mix it through, mix it through, mix it through, mix it through. Keep going with this M here, I'm not done. Need to get a fair bit on there. looking good. I'm going to stretch in a minute, Terry. I just want to finish this before this glue starts to set. And then we're going to have a big stretch and a big chat. Just pushing it into those edges. Getting that right down in there where it needs to be. Don't worry about the mess. This is all getting sanded off. So chillax, as they say. Do not stress. Do not fret. Do not carry on like a pork chop. Just a big dollop of sticky date pudding, chocolate sauce. That's what it looks like. Okay, that's done. One more. The letter F, or whatever that means. This letter up here, I think it's an E. Just enough to give that a nice big smothering of chocolate sauce. Looking good. Okay, we're done. There it is. All locked in. We're going to let that settle for 24 hours now before we sand all that. So let that sit back. Wipe off this guy. Do that stretch. Put our swizzle away. And we're going to route. We're going to route some a neck and pocket and a couple of, or at least drill the holes to route the neck and a couple of humbuckers. We're going to work out where they're going. We've got to get those routes cut in before we shape the top. Let's go. What have we got on the chat? Let me catch up, guys. Thank you very much. Firstly, that stretch. Dana with the 300 bits earlier on. Sorry I missed it. Thank you very much, Dana. You are awesome. I was going to ask, is Dana in the house? Because I've been so busy looking at other things that I've even forgotten that you were in here. And let's do that stretch. Better. There we go. Her internet died on her. The poor kid. She's got the worst internet, probably worse internet than Tom's. Mario, in the house. Super Mario, what's going on? US soccer match. Excellent. Which US team are you talking about? Is it a friendly of the, is it the women's US team or the men's? The World Cup for the women's about to start here in Australia. All the top 32 nations are going to be here. The women's, that is. US, MN. Okay. The league in the US. US men. Yep. The Americas. Yep. That's cool. The Americas. They got the Euros on at the moment too. They just had the Euro qualifying rounds and they probably had another round this week. They're in the pre-season in Europe as well. And Georgie's getting wound up to go to Canada in September, where he's going to be trying his luck in the Canadian League. See how he goes there. All right, guys, let's get back to it. Let's get some drilling done. Drill a little hole, do a little dance. You know what we say. Canada of all teams. Yeah, the Canadian men's are okay. The women's are the world champs at the moment, or they're the Olympic champs, the Canadian women. I'll just put this guy away. I don't know what that's going to turn out. This is a new mix that I'm using and a new glue. So I'm wondering what that's going to turn out. I'm hoping it turns out better than the last glue I used, which was a little bit on the plasticky side. I have to use a gel. I have to use a slow curing, at least 24 hours, because that's the only way we get that stuff to get in there and not cure until it's completely level in those gaps. So it's holding together really well. That looks really good. It doesn't feel too plasticky. It's quite good, quite hard, so it should sand nice and clean. The plasticky stuff sometimes streaks a little bit when you sand it and it just breaks down a bit. It's not too rubbery, so we're all good. That's it. Drill a little hole, do a little dance, get down tonight. Now, I'm going to pop this away. Let's put that up there. And let's have a good little squawk. Actually, I might make some room here on the bench. Just give me a second. I'll just tidy up some of this crap that I've got everywhere, because I tend to get a bit howdy-doody with my doobie what's it. Chisels. Let's get rid of them for the time being. I'll keep them up here because I might need them soon. That glue's done with. Put that glue away. Right, that neck can sit up there. Those guys can sit up there. This glue can go away. Super glue. And what I'm going to do now is flip this guy over here. Like so. Flip it. Okay, this guy. We've got a center line there. I'm just going to make that a little bit darker, keeping in mind we are drilling that away, so don't fret. Don't panic yet, Terry. Sharpen this pencil. Grab my little rule. Just cut this guy down the center line. Just make that a little bit darker. Just so we can see, we can measure, you can see that line now. And we're going to center line this guy. I have got that centered right there. That way we can line that guy up there. I'm going to clamp it in place, straighten it up, and I'm going to take, basically, first things first, I need to measure where we're crossing over with the 16th fret. So if I pop this guy where it needs to sit, which is right there, and I measure the 16th fret, which is, okay, that's correct. So if I measure the 16th fret, 12, let me just count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. Right there is where we cut over. Twelve, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's exactly where it is. This will tell us where to place the neck. Now it should be approximately 3 inches down there. Let's measure that from the edge. It's about 3.5. That's okay because we've got a funny looking end point. If that was flat, it'd be 3 inches. So we've got that extra ½ inch up there. That's okay because I need to allow for that transition, the crossover to the body. So I'm going to put it around about there. I'm just going to mark where the neck, the end of it has to go. Now I'm going to get this to clamp down. How many clamps do we need, Terry? I think we only need 1. I'm going to straighten this guy out. Just clamp that guy down into place. Line that up, straighten that up. How far down do we go? There, right there. Okay, let's clamp that. Let's get a straight edge along here. We've got a line down here. We know the center of that neck. We line this guy up. That's dead straight. That is dead straight 100%. So I nailed that just by eye. Very lucky. I've just got to mark that out now. There's our neck pocket that we have to remove. So that stuff's got to come out. Should come down to approximately halfway. Let me just measure the thickness of that neck. Okay. Whew. I don't trust that rod. Very funny. Clamp it up. So this, the base of this neck is about 25, 24, nearly an inch thick. 24. We're going to add the fretboard on that as well, which is going to be around about 4. So about 28. This is 42. 24, subtract 24 from 42. We get, what's that, 18. So about 20 mil. No, less. 18. Let's go down. No, that's fine. 24. I want to go down, say 22. I'm going to go down 22. 22 mil. I'm stuffing around now. There it is. Grab that pencil again. What I did with it. I do with that pencil. Did I drop it? Such a doofus. Let's use this one. Gives me a visual. Okay, cool. We've got to cut this away. So I've got to get on the drill press and I've got to drill that out. Let's grab our big boy drill. I'm going to use the smaller one and I'm going to do 2 passes, 1 on each half. So I'm going to go down to the 20 or the inch, 25 mil, and that'll fit there and that'll fit there, and that'll be a lot neater. Get 6 holes cut in there, or 7 on that side and 4 on that side, 3 on that side. Then we chisel the rest out, route the rest out clean, and we're good to go. So let's use that guy. And I think that's got the measurement of 22 already on there, if I can remember correctly. Let me double check that. Yeah, I do have 22 on there. It's that dark blue line. So I've already set this to the right depth. Let's go to the other room. How are we doing for time? We're doing good for time. I'm going to flip over, guys and girls, to the other room. We're going to get this camera off here and into the drill press. Got to find this guy. Here we go. Back in a sec. Flip you over. Let's have a look at that. What have we got? I've set that camera up. Let's have a look and see if it works. But let me reset it. Bench cam, deactivate, activate, there we go. Okay, body, drill, let's go, let's do this. Right, first things first, let's take off this guy. Adjust the depth to there. Too much. Too much again. That's right there. Okay, let's drill these holes.
that depth. Enough. Other way. Okie dokie. Flick over the camera, but bring that other camera to this room. Okay. And we'll pop this guy back up here. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Have a look at that. What have we got? Okay. Flick it over. There's our cavity. I'm just going to chisel out these big chunks and then I'm going to route out the rest, right, with the router. So let's make some room here. Okay, we're going to drill bit pieces can go up there. Taking this guy can go up there. Do we need any clamps, Terry? Absolutely, we need clamps. We need at least 2. Clamp this guy here. Another one on that side. Right there. What else have we got? Ring bolt. Thank you for the follow. Excellent. 2 minutes ago. Good to have you on board. The shot of your hall reminds me of a cool bar where I would listen to jazz. Kind of dark with lots of bricks. That's my place. Dark with bricks. If you actually look at my showroom, which is upstairs, I've got 5 guitars hanging up in the showroom, and it's a brick wall against the brick wall, and the bricks actually contrast and bring out the guitar's colour and shape really, really well. I like brick walls, especially internal ones. If I had a chance to live in an old warehouse, I would convert an old warehouse into a nice place, you know. Let's see how we go. Okay, that's all sort of strapped in. I need to get some chiseling done here first. I shouldn't have done that. I should move that across to here. Grab my chisels, which I put away. No, I didn't. I kept them here for that reason. Just going to take these guys out, those big chunks, so that we have a straighter, less stress and strain on the drill bit, or not the drill bit, the router bit. So I'm just going to take these guys out. There's less work to do for the router. You like to clean that up a little bit. Get a little bit funky. Give that a clean run. Take off those big chunks. There's a few big chunks here too. Let's keep going. Flatten that out a bit more. And there'll be less work for the router. Now, this is the tricky part that Terry loves so much. Terry, how much do you love this part? Lots. We have to get some straight edges along here. I'm just going to do one edge at a time. I've got my bits and pieces somewhere here. Where are they? There we go. These guys here. Nice straight edge there. I'm going to clamp that guy down there and there. I'm not going to clamp it here, I'm going to clamp it here. I might tape that down. Put a little bit of tape along there. Square up those corners. I will. Absolutely. I'll do that after I route. After I route, I will square up those corners. They're going to be a little bit round in there, so I'm going to just make sure that I get them all nice and snug, and then you know how it goes. A little bit of double-sided tape to start us with.
so. Place that just inside that line because we want it nice and tight. Right there. I'm going to cut along there. I need another little square bit. To stop that guy. Right there. So we can do that edge as well. I'm going to glue that guy down. I need a bigger piece. Let me grab a bigger piece. This guy. This will be more appropriate because I can clamp this guy down. How are we going to do this? Like so. Don't worry about that angle there. That's because we've got this neck skewed that way. That's actually straight. That should be 90 degrees. Sorry, no, that can't be 90 degrees because it's skewing away. That's where I want it. Okay, I'm going to use this bit here. More tape. Right there, and I'm going to clamp this guy. Right there. I need a clamp back here. And we're good to go. Right, do I need safety gear, Terry? Terry, do I need safety gear? What do I need? Willie's still up. What's going on? Willie, I thought you went Betty Buys. The roustabout routerer. Square up those corners. What is RR? Chisel work is almost as good as Shinto. Almost. Inuit. I'm into Shinto. Very funny. Mask, glasses. What do we need? Masks, glasses, headgear, helmets. What else do we need, Terry? Terry knows these things. I always ask her if she knows these things. There it is. Look, she's got a picture of me with all the gear on. Okay, let's have a look here. Glasses. Our guitar show beanie. Gloves. I always wear gloves. I don't know. I just feel more secure with them. I'm a doofus, I know. I'm pretty doofusy. Ha! Yeah, God, you guys have written too many commands. I don't even know what's going on. See you, Willie. Good old Wills. Okay, router. ready to rock. Okay. Power board. Plug it in. Check it out. All right, we're good to go. Flick it over. Ba-dong. Do the other half. Can't see. Do this edge now. Come on. Okay, other side. Okay, take these off. Put the body down. And now we can use that ledge that we've done to finish the job. So I have to adjust this. Okay. Just clean out the fibres. It should be a very tight fit. Now I don't have the corners done yet, I've got to do those. So I've got to get this guy down into there. Like that. corner clean. Let's try and fit that neck in there and see how tight it is. Really tight. A little bit too tight, actually. Just going to shave that ever so lightly to get the perfect fit. Shave it lightly, get the perfect fit. Let's take this mask off. Whew. So I'm shaving it lightly just to get the perfect snug fit. Almost there. Almost there. Gee, that's close. It's close, but no cigar. Shaving ever so slightly. Just so I can get this neck installed in there. It's just about there now. Geez, that's close. Very close. My glasses on, I can't see much without them these days. I'm pretty blind these days, Terry. What else have we got? Square up those corners? Almost. Yes, we're almost there. Just got to get this one right. I do cut them just inside the lines to allow me to do some very fine chiseling and very fine shaving. And that'll get us our neck super tight. Super tight. Wow. Almost there. Almost there. Almost. Nearly there. Oh man, that's tight. Just a touch more. Wow, so tight. Overcooked it this time. It's probably the tightest neck pocket I've ever made. There we go. Woo! That's a tight fit. It's not coming off. I can load that up with stuff and it ain't moving. I could string it up now with no bolts. I reckon it's that tight. Oops. There we go. She's in there. Tight as a drum. Square as anything. And get that guy in there and you'll start getting some colour. And we'll start getting some colour on the back. It's all coming together. That's the one. Oh. There we go. What do you think, guys? Nice and neat. Pockets in there, the neck's in there. Let's check the alignment. Did we get it right or did we screw up? What do you guys think? Straight edge. Let's give it a test. Center line. There's neck. There we go. Dead straight down the middle. We're pretty much down the middle. Or are we out? Oh, hang on. Hard to see here. Oh, we're a little bit. Oh, no, we're okay. We're okay. We're good. Yep, it's good. come in a little bit here. That's okay. I can adjust that. All right, there it is. See if I can pull this out without destroying the guitar. Wow, that is something else. Talk about tight. There we go. Ugh. Goodness gracious me. That is tight. A little bit there. Come that way a bit. Okay, we're good. All right, still got to put in the we've still got to do the pockets for the pickups. I'm not going to do that until I get this fretboard on here so I can measure the scale properly and get the right position. So we've got a little ways to go yet, guys and girls, before we do that. Tomorrow we'll probably get this guy sanded. Look at what those things look like. Either throw it away and start again, or did a good job and we keep going. And we'll just file those down and radius this and see what it looks like before we glue it to the. If we sand these flat and it looks great, we will glue it down radius. If we don't, we're going to start a new fretboard. But that's okay. I've been experimenting with it anyway. See how we go. Show you guys a little bit of colour. Pour a little bit of water on here and show you what this guy actually does look like with a bit of finish on it. You can actually see that's the colour that it's going to turn into, and you can see that flame come to life with a little bit of we get a little bit of oil on there, it's going to really be pretty to watch. Okay, let me sand that off. Wipe that off, I should say. Let's see that. That colour underneath is quite good once we get that ambering up. There's a couple of little colours that are going to come through here as well. We've got some artistic elements to add, but not yet. Anyway, I'm going to see who's on because I'm done for the day. It's going to look great. Have faith. Tobacco colour. Mario, it is a beautiful burgundy tobacco, sort of mahogany burgundy tobacco. It's a mahogany stain, but it's turning out a bit ready. And when you amber that up a little bit, it does go a bit tobacco-y. But he wants a natural look on part of it, but he wants a little bit of green at the bottom, a little bit of black through the middle. So the essence is this is a tree stump, and it's been burnt at the base, and there's some moss growing on the edges, and then a little black burn mark, and then the rest of the tree going up. So that's the kind of thing that we're aiming for. Now let me just see who's on before I move on. Matt Burrows. Let's go to Matt Burrows. Whew. See you later, Terry. Thank you very much. Gatto, thank you very much for your comments. That's greatly appreciated. Raid. I'm going to raid Matt Burrows. Have a listen to him if you want to hang around and hear some music. Otherwise, have a great week, guys and girls. I'm going to be back again probably Wednesday, not tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Until then, though, take it easy. I'll be back then. Give it a look. Look us up. Look our schedule up. Have a little look. I might even drop in tomorrow. Who knows? Take care of each other, guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. I'm going to flick you over to Matt now. Okay. Bye for now.